In today's video, we're going to be having a little bit of a look at what's going on with the coronavirus situation in the US. I'm going to give you a rundown of Wirecard and what's going on with its stock price and of course insolvency. And in addition to all that, we're going to have a look at some of the tensions that are rising over the Hong Kong situation. Hello and welcome to another ACY Securities Market Update. My name is Alastair Schultz and I'm going to be your host through today's trading journey. The first thing I'm going to be talking to you about is what's going on with Hong Kong. The US has decided to put a couple of things in place as of the last 24 hours about banking and Chinese officials that are getting some sort of benefit or are working towards the Hong Kong situation and reducing that autonomy and the freedom of citizens. The US House of Senate has approved several measures to penalize banks that might be doing business with Chinese officials. Now, the ruling here is that it needs to go through the House of Reps before it actually gets to President Trump's desk, in which case he may very well sign it. Not too long ago, sometime last year, we saw him sign the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act, which is almost identical to this one. It does, however, have a few extra circumstances, such as the penalizing of banking institutions should they be doing business with Chinese officials. Now, this could easily spark new sets of retaliation from China, and of course, we may even see some interesting stuff going on between the trade agreement, which is going to be the primary concern. Now, in addition to this scenario, we've also got one coming from Micron Technologies theft. So, at some stage throughout last year, we saw Micron Technologies issue filings against a number of entities who were suspected of espionage tactics on the corporate side of things, the theft of microchips and the like that were going back to China. It was the technological theft there. Now, what's actually happened recently, we've seen the US actually file for warrants and have put 3 titles or 3 people on the most wanted list for the corporate side in the US. Now, all of these guys come from United Microelectronics. 2 of them are engineers, 1 of them is a CEO, and there are a variety of other ones. The guys in question's names are Stephen Chen, JT Ho, and Kenny Wang. Now, all of them have had some sort of affiliation with United Microelectronics Corporation, but again, it's just adding to this ongoing list. We've had things with the 5G technologies. We've also had a variety of other instances, especially when it comes to Canada as well, entering the party. So there is an insurmountable amount of pressure that is coming on to the Chinese side of things here, and it will be interesting to see what they do next. Hopefully, the trade side of things is going to remain intact for the time being. Now, moving on, I thought I'd give you guys a bit of a rundown on what's happened with Wirecard. If you have been seeing some of the news in the papers recently, you might know a little bit about it already, but I am going to give you a bit of a rundown of the history of what's gone on in the past week and what some of my own thoughts are about this. The first thing is that it was originally the starlight for the DAX 30. They've not long joined it, it's only been in there a few years, and we have seen them be rising through prominence. The value of the company was estimated at about $13 billion not too long ago. Now, what's happened in the past week is we've had EY Accounting not willing to sign off on an audit, which has resulted in them finding about $1.9 billion to be missing in action. Since then, there was a scrounge around with people flying around the world to try and find where the $1.9 billion was. Now, at the end result of that was, well, Wirecard kind of said, we're not really sure that it ever actually existed. Not a good thing to do when you're a financial technology company. Now, from there, we've had the CEO resign. That then CEO, who has now become the former CEO, was then arrested. And there's been a whole stack of different things going on around the fraud side of things, and that it looks like some of these funds that have been put in place or that are no longer existing may have been something that's going on for an extended period of time throughout the entire career of Wirecard. Now, what we're looking at here is we've had a stock fall. They've wiped from a $13 billion valuation down to a $500 million. They have a number of debts in the $1 billion mark that need to be covered. Since then, they have filed for insolvency, effectively protecting them from creditors at this point in time, but that's not going to maintain for very long. Now, there is a number of other factors that really put a bit of a problem in this picture. The first one being is that the Financial Regulatory Authority in Germany, the BaFin, are kind of embarrassed about this situation. Now, with the Brexit scenario, the EU and the UK leaving and disbanding from one another, and the UK originally being part of the regulatory body that was overlooking financial markets, Germany has tried to step into this place. Now they've had this bungle where a company in their own backyard has lost $1.9 billion. The BAFIN are kind of looking a little bit embarrassed at this scenario, but also the question starts to get asked. Can the BAFIN really handle these sort of scenarios if they've put this company Wirecard in their prize DAX 30 when they've had a lot of accounting errors going on? Now, not only that, there have been a number of speculators along the way who have actually said and noticed some of these accounting errors, but they've fallen on deaf ears when they've actually made the calls. So this puts a bit of a scenario into a different picture. Before, with Germany out of it and maybe perhaps not capable of doing this job, who might take the place? Now, Germany may still very well take that place once they fix some of these things or the weaknesses that they can see in their methodologies. But regardless of that, it certainly does open up that door for either more Brexit negotiations to go on, with the UK potentially being able to bring something to the party. I don't think that's going to be a scenario. They really do want a clean-cut exit right about now. But there certainly stands to put in place. Perhaps another entity or another country may step forward and say that our regulatory authority can actually do this job and have it done to the standards that are expected. Of course, this is a very big storm, and it means that because of that, it is going to put a little bit of change in value, perhaps in the euro, but certainly on Germany and how we look at them from a regulatory point of view for the time being. So we will be looking at this, and I will be keeping a close eye because it affects so many different areas. Not only do we have it affecting an individual stock, we've got it affecting the entire regulatory body, and now it may even affect a Brexit deal, and of course, a number of other factors. So there are so many things at play. It is definitely one to keep an eye on beyond what the actual stock does in the future. Now, to move on from that, we have some more news about coronavirus. We've seen another 35,000 cases in the US. That's now 3 days in a row. So they are having a rapid rise, 4.8% over the weekly averages. So that's massive. We've also seen Houston at absolute capacity for their ICU, meaning that their hospital system is basically overrun right about now. And the state reopening has been postponed, which is advisable, as you can imagine. Now, Apple has also closed stores, and all of these are sort of amounting to a bit of a problem with this new resurgence, where we're seeing one side wanting to reopen the economy, and a lot of states are not really wanting to do that because of the issues that they're facing. Now, moving on from that, another bungle that's happened, and this is kind of the most Internal Revenue Service thing that I've ever seen, is that they've actually sent $1.4 billion worth of stimulus checks that were meant to be covering people who had lost their jobs during the pandemic and even now the greater economic problem, have gone to the deceased. And those have been cashed by the next of kin. And now the IRS is trying to recoup their money. Not much of anything really for you to really focus on. They probably will get some level of funding back, either that or they're going to print more money. But regardless of the fact, it's still kind of like the most IRS thing, if you've ever had any experience with it, to ever happen. So that is something just a little bit interesting to keep an eye on. Now, for the news ahead, we have a China bank holiday today. We had one yesterday. It's still ongoing today, so please bear that in mind. You might see some different volumes going on. We've got German import prices occurring a bit later on this afternoon. We then have EU money supply, personal loans, and then from there, US personal spending. And of course, the big one is going to be consumer sentiment for the US side of things. It will be interesting to see what the University of Michigan has to say about that at this point in time. And we do want to hope that we are seeing some rise in consumer sentiment at this. But considering the US situation with the amount of COVID-19 cases that are ongoing right now, it'll be a hard picture to sort of paint and see which way it's going to go. So definitely something to watch for, especially if you're on the US dollar pairs. Now, if there's anything from today's video, some of my other videos, maybe it could be blogs, it wouldn't matter, anything it is. If you'd like to get in contact with me, send me an email at talktoal@acy.com. And of course, if you like this video, like and subscribe it for me so you can get more great content from me and ACY Securities in the future. Have a great trading day ahead.